Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates (UAE) are two of the most influential countries in the Middle East today. Both nations play a critical role in regional security, global energy markets, and diplomatic balance between East and West. The current situation in the Middle East, marked by rising tensions with Iran, instability in the Red Sea, conflicts in Gaza and Yemen, and growing involvement of global powers, has placed Saudi Arabia and the UAE at the center of strategic calculations. Any expected or expanded war in the region would not remain local. It would have serious consequences for the United States and the global order. At present, Saudi Arabia is focused on maintaining regional stability while advancing its ambitious Vision 2030 plan, aimed at economic diversification, reduced dependence on oil, and modernization of society. Riyadh has taken a more cautious diplomatic approach in recent years, restoring relations with Iran through Chinese mediation and avoiding direct military escalation. However, Saudi Arabia remains deeply concerned about missile and drone threats, regional militias, and disruptions to oil infrastructure. The UAE, meanwhile, has positioned itself as a regional economic hub and diplomatic power broker. Abu Dhabi maintains strong ties with the United States while also expanding relations with China, Russia, and emerging economies. The UAE has reduced its direct military footprint in regional conflicts, but continues to prioritize maritime security, especially around the Strait of Hormuz and the Red Sea, key global trade routes. If a large-scale war were to break out in the Middle East, whether involving Iran, Israel, or regional proxy groups, the impact on the United States would be significant. First and foremost, energy markets would be immediately affected. Saudi Arabia and the UAE are among the world's top oil producers. Any disruption to their production or shipping routes would likely cause a sharp rise in global oil prices. For the United States, this would translate into higher fuel costs, increased inflation, and economic pressure on consumers and industries. Second, US military involvement would almost certainly increase. The United States maintains military bases, naval fleets, and defense partnerships with both Saudi Arabia and the UAE. In the event of war, Washington would face strong pressure to defend its allies, protect shipping lanes, and deter hostile actors. This could stretch US military resources, increase defense spending, and raise domestic political debate about America's role in overseas conflicts. Third, a regional war would challenge US diplomatic influence. As Saudi Arabia and the UAE diversify their global partnerships, the United States must work harder to maintain trust and leadership. Failure to prevent escalation could weaken US credibility, while successful diplomacy could reinforce America's image as a stabilizing global power. Finally, global security and trade would be at risk. The Middle East is a crossroads for international commerce. Any prolonged conflict could disrupt supply chains, increase insurance costs for shipping, and slow global economic growth, effects that would directly impact the US economy. In conclusion, the current situation in Saudi Arabia and the UAE reflects a delicate balance between caution, modernization, and security concerns. An expected war in the region would not only reshape the Middle East, but also deeply affect the United States economically, militarily, and diplomatically. For Washington, supporting stability, promoting dialogue, and avoiding escalation remain essential to protecting both regional allies and US national interests.